Hey guys, this is Mr. H. I'm going to do question number 40 from the Regents review, and I'm going to post it to the playlist. Okay, this one is, we didn't actually cover factoring in the class. Unfortunately, I never have enough time to do every single thing in the Algebra 1 curriculum. So there's some things that I leave out. And one of the things that I leave out is factoring. It's important, but on the scale of relative importance, I don't value that highly. So I don't take time to actually go through factoring. But it's a very kind of, once you understand factoring, you understand it's not a very difficult concept, because basically all you're doing is you are finding zeros, because factors and zeros are basically they're basically the same things. So I'm going to show you how to do this, how to factor, and hopefully this will make sense. I may create another video that actually just goes into more detail on factoring, and I definitely will do that. If anyone does this, watches this, and they're like, Mr. I didn't understand that. Can you give me more on factoring? I'll make a video on factoring, but for now, I'm just going to try to keep it simple and sweet. All right, so let me jump into this. So very first thing you see is it says you got to factor, and I underline this word completely. That means it's got to be factored out all the way. All the factors have to be factored out. So what you see here is we have, this is not a quadratic, this is a cubic function. So it means that at most it could have 3 zeros. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to graph this, and I'm going to find every zero. And once I find the zeros, I can use those zeros to factor. So watch this. So I'm going to go get the calculator, and here we have it. And I'm going to go to the graph, and then I'm going to do menu 5045 because I'm going to bring it back. And now I'm going to do tab, and well, where's my function? Oh, I'm on the axis, so tab. All right, so now I'm going to enter that expression and make it into a function. So this is going to be 4x to the third power. And then we got minus 49x. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to graph this. Now, let me move this out of the way. Now, you should see that there are 3 zeros. There's one right here, there's one right here, and there's one right here. So I'm going to find them. So I'm going to go menu 61. I found one of the zeros. Bam, got it. Bring this over here. And then I'm going to do menu 61 again. Here's the other zero right here. Boom. It's 0, 0. And then I'm going to do menu 61 again. And the other zero is right here. So these are all of the zeros. There's 3 zeros for it. So let me show you the relationship between zeros and factors. So here's what I'm going to do. First thing is I'm going to convert these decimals into fractions, because that's going to make it easier when I try to solve this. So let me bring up my iPad. I'm going to move this over a little bit, and I'm going to write the zeros. So I have a 0 at x equals negative 3.5. I have a 0 at x equals 0, and I have a 0 at x equals 3.5, a positive 3.5. Now, one of the things I said is that I need to make these into fractions, and I'm going to show you why. So let me go here to and I'm going to take 3.5, and I'm going to convert it into a fraction. So I go menu 22. And that means it's going to be 7/2. So now I'm going to go back to my iPad, and instead of this being a negative 3.5, I'm going to make it a negative 7/2. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. All right, so this is going to be 7/2 as well. So now, so everything is a fraction or integer. Now, here's how you factor. You are going to, because right now I've got all of the zeros or all of the roots for this. To get the factors, basically you just move everything to one side of the equation. So watch what I do. I'm going to get this and I'm going to set it equal to 0. So this is going to be, I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. And so this is going to be 2x equals a negative 7. And then I'm going to add 7 to both sides. So this is going to be 2x plus 7. And then on this side, it's going to be 0. Now, this is what you want. You want the equation to be equal to 0, because that's where the factors are. The factors are zeros or the opposite. Now, this one is already done, so I'm just going to rewrite it. So this is just going to be x equals 0. And now over here, I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the other one. So I'm going to multiply this side by 2, multiply this side by 2. The 2's are going to cancel. So I'm going to have 2x equals 7. And then I want to move this 7 to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 7 from this side, subtract 7 from this side. So I'm going to have on the left 2x minus 7. And over here, I'm going to have 0, because 7 minus 7 is 0. Now, factors. You're just going to take this, multiply times this, multiply times this. And now it's factored. So it's going to be 2x plus 7 times x times 2x minus 7. This is completely factored. That's what they want you to be able to do. So basically, all you need to be able to do is find the zeros first. And then once you have the zeros, and if they're decimals, convert them to fractions. But then once you get those zeros, you're going to make equations and set them equal to 0. That's what I did here. That's what I did here. Actually, that was already set to 0. And that's what I did here. Once I get those set to 0, I just take those equations or part of the equations and I just multiply them together. So if I multiplied all of these together, I would get this, 4x third minus 49x. So these are equivalent. This is factored. This is not factored. I took this, and by finding the zeros, I was able to get this. This is the answer. 2x plus 7 times x times 2x minus 7. Those are the zeros. That's factored completely. All right, that's it. I'm going to stop, and I'm going to post it.